Everybody, I'm sorry I turned this on and then now I want a cup of coffee. Oops, my grandbabies. Apologies, I didn't realize. I thought I had like a Disney or Winnie Pooh cup or my little grandbabies. Okay, hey everybody. So this is American Nana, and I, from time to time, just pop in. Never know. So, oh my eyes. These lights out here. All right. So let me first say, please, if you are not subscribed to Crack in the Box or the Crap Goth, to please go check them out and give them a sub and share them. We would love to see that channel grow, both of them. All right. Oh, and this is very, very important. So, I don't know really how to say this, but you know, I made a post regarding how much I've been paid to do the Karen Reed coverage, and it's very important that you understand. At the time I made the post, I was 100% transparent. So there's been a what would you say, a break? No, just kidding. Something has happened and I need to let y'all know, okay? So, in fact, as of, gosh, I didn't write down the time. I was just too excited, y'all, too excited. But let's just say about 7 p.m. I got a payment, guys. I did. I got a payment. I got 2 virtual rubber duckies. 2. And then I was so excited about it. Then she sent me 5, which means I have 7 rubber duckies as payments so far. Virtual, I'm sorry. I have 7 virtual rubber duckies for the coverage I've done. So I'm moving on up, y'all. Moving on up. But I had to report that so I could be transparent for people that are concerned. Now, the other thing that I want to say, and dadgummit, you know, on YouTube, people have one name. On X they have another. On Facebook they have another. So I was chatting with somebody today in I was in the Young Jerks chat. No, that was Rita's. I was in Melanie Little's chat, and one of the people that I was chatting was also in the chat had made a post that in 1990 Bev appealed a verdict due to confusing jury instructions and won. So that was on X, and so I went to X. I try to stay away from there because people are so mean, but I went to X, and the only one that I found that had that statement was someone, True Crime with Eve. So the information that I'm fixing to give you is information that I got from True Crime with Eve on X, if you happen to do X. Now what I'm going to do is, she posted it, looks like an old newspaper article, and she was an attorney at that time. So since we have an issue with her judgment in the Karen Reed trial, where she didn't bother to ask the jury if they had come to any unanimous verdicts and just said, adios, we'll see you later, okay, bye. She herself, in fact, did appeal a verdict due to a confusing jury instruction. And I want to say that she about I mean, I'm still not sure what verdict. I'm still not sure what counts number 2 would have that could have found Karen Reed guilty. If in fact, as they say, count 1 and count 3 are not guilty. So they say she didn't leave him after he had been harmed, nor is she the one that she didn't back into him. She didn't hit him with her car. They don't believe that at all. So I'm not sure how manslaughter can fall in. But I just thought y'all might find this interesting. So in case y'all don't want to go to Twitter or what, if you're interested, I'm going to read you. Let's see, I will read her high points, and then I'm going to read the whole thing. And that way, you have your choice of listening to the case that Beverly was defending. It's not a very nice case where she was defending these boys. So, this is Dedham. And mind you, I'm just going to give you the high points. So after I give you the high points, I'll say a little something and then I'll read it. So if you don't want to stick around and listen to me jabber, that I'm giving you the meat before the taters. I'll mix the meat and taters together after I give you the meat, okay? So this is just a snippet. Pardon me. Denham. 4 Millis men were sentenced to 5-year terms in the Concord State Prison yesterday for, I'm not going to say it, assaulting a mentally impaired woman in what came to be known as the Dirty Dancing case. Judge Patrick King stayed the sentences while he considers defense requests that he set aside the verdict or enter a finding of not guilty. King ordered Matthew Simcock, 22, his brother Patrick, 19, Stephen Byer, 20, and Richard Clegg, 20, to appear before him on April 18th, at which time they will either enter prison or learn that their request has been granted. They remain free on personal recognizance. Beverly Cannone, Matthew Simcock's attorney, argued that the jury's verdict was clearly against the weight of the evidence because no one denied that there had been sex, and the jury found that there had been no R. I don't think you're supposed to say those words on YouTube from the videos I've seen. I don't think you're allowed to. So Cannone said this indicated that the jurors accepted the defense of consent. Thus, the lawyer argued the finding of indecent assault made no sense and might have been due to confusing instruction by the court. Let's just leave that there. Let's just let that settle. I hope Mr. Yannetti and Mr. Jackson can convince her to do the right thing. I'm not so sure I think that what she got was the right thing for this, because I can't imagine how I can't imagine. Can you imagine how ugly she must have been to that poor young lady on the stand? I can't imagine that. If that young lady had to testify after watching Cannone on the stand, see that, what a, oh, that glare, it's from my phone. But I don't know what the glare's from. I don't know. Anyway, I found that to be interesting because she knows she's got whatever power is needed. She also knows she could have polled that jury, and she chose not to. Of course, we all know how she likes to stand up and talk about how she's the last word, and basically brilliance. So, all right, guys, that was the meat. Now, for anyone who wants to stick around and listen, I'm going to read this article from the paper. He was a Globe staff. I'm guessing it's a denim paper. Or, I mean, denim paper. Really sad to see what she was willing to get these boys off of doing, because I don't think I could convince somebody. I couldn't defend something like this. This seems like something she'd be right fine doing, though. I mean, she seems to want to protect the McAlberts, so. All right. So, I'm gonna let y'all know this is it's a case that involves SEX and R. Okay. I'll try to be careful how I'm reading, but I may sound like an idiot by going through it. I don't mind saying the boys' names, but if I happen to find the victim, I hope I don't say it. All right. In Dedham, 4 Millis men were sentenced to 5-year terms in Concord State Prison yesterday for assaulting a mentally impaired woman in what came to be known as the Dirty Dancing case. Judge Patrick King stayed the sentences while he considered defense requests that he set aside the verdict or enter a finding of not guilty. King ordered Matthew Simcock, 22, his brother Patrick, 19, I'm assuming same last name, Stephen Byer, 20, and Richard Clegg, 20, to appear before him on April 18th, at which time they will enter prison or learn that their request has been granted. They may remain free on personal recognizance. If sentenced, the 4 would be eligible for parole in 6 months. Now I'm going to say, only 6 months, really? Only 6 months. They had been charged with the aggravated R, simple R, and indecent assault and battery. But a Norfolk County Superior Court jury, after deliberating for 3 days last month, found them guilty only of the indecent assault and battery, the least serious charge. According to the evidence presented by Assistant District Attorney Linda Busey, the 4 men went to the woman's apartment on August 24th, 1988, where they were drinking and where they played a video cassette of the film Dirty Dancing. While the tape played, according to the testimony, the 4 men took turns going into the bedroom where each engaged in, with her. The victim is still under treatment by a psychologist, according to a court statement made by her father yesterday, following a head injury she suffered in a 1985 car accident in which one passenger was killed. Attorneys for the 4 defendants had argued that the victim had consented to basically sex and initiated the intimacies. And the victim testified she submitted out of fear. The victim's father, who sobbed as he read the statement yesterday, said that while the 4 men had been walking free for the last 19 months, his daughter had become consumed by fear, rage, and emotional turmoils. After feeling she had been reduced to a second-class citizen following the fatal accident, her father said, the assault has made her feel reduced to a piece of meat. Beverly Cannone. Hey, I'll be finished in a minute. I'm right in the middle of almost finished. Fresh coffee. Beverly Cannone, Matthew Simcock's attorney, argued that the jury's verdict was clearly against the weight of the evidence because no one denied that there had been sex, and the jury found that there had been no R. Cannone said this indicated that the jurors accepted the defense of consent. Thus, the lawyer argued, the finding of indecent assault made no sense and might have been due to the confusing instruction by the court. Busey said she will appeal if King sets the verdicts aside. Attorneys for the 4 men also say they plan to appeal the verdicts and sentences. Well, we see what kind of people she defended, right? I wonder if any of those thugs are still around, who all they were related to. All right, sorry. I hadn't read the whole article. I just snapped it, and that's it. So I hope Beverly thinks back to her time where she got those people off that had done what she seemed to feel was had a good time with someone who probably wasn't even in the right mind to give any type of consent, is my guess. Head injury, no idea what kind of damage was done to her from that and the accident where the person died and the trauma that she suffered. I don't know how old she was. Oh, I believe it said. I don't know. I don't remember, and I just read it, right? So, my whole thing is, I guess my question is, Beverly, what's up? I just thought of that. That just really pisses me off. You had a verdict thrown out because you felt the judge gave confusing instruction. But you, Beverly, won't acknowledge that the members of the jury who you supposedly believed and acted all nice to and appreciated their service have no regard for the fact that they're telling you in every which way they can reach out that they found Karen Reed not guilty on counts 1 and 3. I don't know who in Massachusetts has the ability to make this woman on the bench do the right thing. But somebody surely has got to have. She can't be the end-all, know-all, be-all. So I'm going to assume this is just going to be appealed over and over. Because anything other than a not guilty on counts 1 and 3, if you have these jurors willing to basically swear to you under their juror's oath that had you bothered to ask them that day, they would have been happy to tell you. They were waiting on more instruction. So, how about them apples? How about them apples? Huh? I don't know if you know, and maybe the person that told me about her post on X will actually check this video out, and she can let me know if I was correct in saying true crime with Eve, so that if any of you guys are on X, then y'all need to go and give her a look up, because this is some I don't want to say the name that was on YouTube, because some people do them different for different reasons, so I don't want to be disrespectful in that aspect whatsoever. I wouldn't want, if she's one name on X and a different one on YouTube, I wouldn't want to be the cause in anything getting confused. You know, some people, they don't want you to know who they are on different platforms. So, but if she does see this video, and hopefully that was her post, and y'all check her out. If this isn't your post, then please let me know in the comments, and I'll definitely give you credit for it, because I don't think I've seen that anywhere. And I'm certainly not going to take credit for finding it, because I've been looking on my own and still hadn't found it. I'm like, okay, I love to research. I don't know what my problem is, but I love to research. One of my favorite things I did in my position at Home Depot, I was just into every problem there was that you could find, because I love solving the problems. But I got to where I worked on the store P&L, and every month, man, I was ready for it. And my favorite thing in the world was to say this multi-million-dollar business at the time, money. Shoot, if I even had just a penny for every dollar I saved that company, y'all, I could actually have my one-story house built, and have me one of them little miniature cows, you know, get me a couple acres so I could have me a miniature. I want a miniature cow, I want a miniature donkey, and I want those fainting goats. Those fainting goats are so adorable. At first I thought it was cruel when people were showing videos of them, and then I got to where I just watch them and just laugh my rear end off. They are so funny. And of course I researched it, and it's a medical thing, and that's just how they are, and they're fine. But you know, when I first saw it, I was like, oh. And then after I realized that that's just how they were, I was okay with it. And then I decided I wanted one. But we live in a neighborhood. We're not allowed to have wildlife. I'm surprised I'm allowed to live here then, but no, just joking. But, anyways, um, I don't even know. See, there's my squirrel. But I'm not sure. I'm sure that y'all noticed that I was talking to somebody right in the middle of this. Well, my husband has just come home from work, and so I'm gonna get off of here, and I'm gonna go pour him some coffee. And I was rearranging my mess in the bedroom, so I'm gonna have to go stash that because I'm gonna finish that tomorrow. Then I have all my crafting in there because my daughter and her 3 children that live here pretty much have the house, and I keep my stuff in my room because my stuff's not safe for littles, for one, and for two, my machines were to get torn up, I wouldn't be able to buy anymore. You know, when you're making the money, you buy the stuff. I have the stuff, and now I just have to learn how to use it. Something I've always wanted to do, but there was a time there was a lot of years I was babysitting grandbabies, and I could sew for a little, and then I have to put it back. I say so. I like blankets and quilts, but and I'm doing some T-shirts pretty soon, and I've got a store that I'm going to use a drop shipper to do the T-shirts because I can't stock all the sizes. Eventually, I'd like to do them all myself, but I don't have the, what do you call it? The startup? Yeah, I don't have startup for that. So I kind of don't like to do it because I think if I could do it myself, I could charge cheaper. You know, when you have somebody else that's doing it for you, it's kind of hard to make much off of it. Because you can't, they charge a pretty penny, and you tack on a little bit, and it's a pretty penny and a half, right? So, why am I saying all this? I'm gonna hush. I'm gonna hush. That's nothing to do with anything else. So, I'm gonna go get me some coffee and sit down and visit with Grampy's. And y'all have yourself a good night. Bye.